We pray at His lotus feet to bless us all so we can also remain steadfast like Him and follow in His footsteps. His Divine Grace, Paramhans Srimad BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Maharaj, the great leader of the Gaudiya movement throughout the world, made his appearance in Jagannath Puri on the 5th day of the dark lunar fortnight of the month of Govinda at 3:30 p.m. He was born because his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, had prayed to Lord Chaitanya for a ray of Vishnu, an assistance and successor from the Lord's personal associates, as he knew how important it was to keep the movement of Nama Sankirtan going on. At the time of his birth, 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality were pointed out by an experienced astrologer. He was born with his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck like a Brahman thread. The astrologer commented at his birth that I have done many horoscopes in my life, but I have never before seen such a horoscope filled with all the signs of a great personality. And this child will become world famous as a brilliant teacher of life's ultimate goal. The Brahma Samhita that BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Maharaj has written, his English is also so powerful. It says that even the English man has to open the dictionary to understand his message. Totally remain as a brahmachari throughout the life. And also he was the son of a very big government officer, magistrate, and in charge of the Jagannath temple, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and mother Sri Yukta Bhagavati Devi. In those days, a magistrate was a big officer in the government, practically next to the governor. When Maharaj was 6 months old, Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra festival is in procession, and at that time, Rath Yatra cart halted in front of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house for 3 days. Being a magistrate wife, Sri Yukta Bhagavati Devi Nasi took the opportunity to place the child on the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath. And at that time, an offered garland fell from the neck of the Lord, encircling the baby boy. This was taken as a sign of special favor and confirmation of Srila BhaktiSidhhanth divine descent. At that moment, the grain ceremony was also observed on the cart with Jagannath Prasad. The first grain for Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Thakur was Jagannath Prasad. Thus, he is named as Vimala Prasad because Vimala Devi is offered the Prasad after Jagannath takes. When during the Annaprasana ceremony, the child is shown the Shastra and coin to give some indication of his nature, he immediately embraced the Srimad Bhagavatam as opposed to the gold coins indicating his future as a preacher. Therefore, from the very beginning, Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Thakur exhibited all the signs of an exalted, eternal associate of the Supreme Lord. Even as a child, he was extremely strict about Krishna consciousness. Strictness is required, Haribol. And we see often all our acharyas follow so rigidly. They are showing us the way if he wants to deliver our soul from the nations of the cycle of birth and death. How determined we need to be. Once, when he had taken a mango that was not first offered to the Lord, he had vowed to never eat mango again. And he observed it throughout his life. This is the characteristic of the acharyas. Whatever vow they take, they never let it fall. It says like the written on the stone, those lines should never be erased. So whenever we took vow, we should contemplate, we should consider our position, and we should not make so many vows that we cannot maintain, because the effect would be that once you lose one of the vow, then you lose your intensity that, oh, I took a vow. So better you contemplate that you will be able to do it. Then and then you take a vow. But then never swayed away from that vow. These acharyas teach by their own life actions. He was a very expert student. However, his preference was to study Vaishnava book of his father, but never fell behind in school. Once you take shelter of the God, everything becomes auspicious and sublime. So by the age of 7, he had committed the entire Bhagavad Gita to a memory and could wonderfully explain the verses as well. His teachers were astonished, and his father was very, very pleased. Later on, he was trained in publishing and proofreading at Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's printing press. He also wrote essays on spiritual topics and strongly condemned various religious malpractices which had become prominent in the society. And he was offered a chair in astronomy at the University of Calcutta, but he declined it, thinking it an impediment to his spiritual life. He used to debate everyone he met on all sorts of subjects. No one who argued with him was ever able to defeat him. Just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has defeated a great scholar, Keshava Kashmiri, at a young age. So similarly, Bimla Prasad once, during his later college days, debated a very famous scholar named Panchanna Sahityacharya. After some discussion, the scholar became so mortified that he could not check the calls of nature and had to accept defeat. Wonderful life biography. I think somebody has unmuted their phone. Or Jay. Oh, Jayanti Bhai just joined, so okay. When he was 13-year-old, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur brought Tulsi bits from Jagannath Puri and gave him his first initiation and the name Siddhanta Saraswati and Nrsimha mantra to chant, which he executed very faithfully. along with the worship of his Kurma deity. But according to etiquette, a father does not give actual diksha to his son. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur instructed him to approach Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, a great Mahabhagat, a fully self-realized, liberated soul for Diksha. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was a renounced Bhajananandi and was not inclined to accept any disciple. Yet, at Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur urging, Sri Siddhanta Saraswati approached Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji for initiation. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji hesitated to accept him, knowing him to be a great scholar. Disappointed, Saraswati Thakur went back to his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and related to him what had happened. But Thakur Bhaktivinoda sent him out again and again. He came back with the same answer. At this point, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, unless you take initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, your life is useless, and no longer may you enter this house. Haribol. What a streak. He went back and met Gaur Kishore Das Babaji and exclaimed, quote, if you refuse to accept me as your disciple, I must kill myself. After this, Babaji could see the sincerity in his heart and gave Siddhanta Saraswati the name Sri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Das. It shows how eager and determined one must be for the mercy of a pure devotee of Krishna. I see some devotees, they try to get the initiation from the spiritual master. And if they have to wait, they feel, oh, what happened? But this example shows that sometimes the spiritual master takes some tests before they accept the disciple. Because, any sins that we incur, it goes to the Guru. And that's why we see that so many sannyasis and Guru in ISKCON is suffering because of we are not following properly. At least for the sake of those great personalities, we should contemplate much, much more before we take initiation. After that, there is no other way but to follow simply. Nobody is forcing us to take initiation, so it's our willingness, and we should remain steadfast to follow throughout the life. In 1905, at age of 31, he had vowed to chant at least 3 lakhs holy name daily, following in the footsteps of Namacharya Haridas Thakur. At that time, he constructed a grass hut at the Yogpit in Mayapur Dham, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. He lived there very simply and chanted day and night. If rainwater would leak through the thatched roof, he would just hold up an umbrella and continue chanting, not try to fix the hut. He strictly followed his vow and observed Chaturmas by cooking rice and eating it from the floor in the manner of a cow. No plate, nothing, no spoon. He would sleep on the ground without any bedding or pillow and constantly chant and study the scriptures. Seeing his renunciation, his Gurudev said, quote, I observe that the renunciation of Srila Rupa Raghunath is manifested in my Prabhu, unquote. He used to address his disciple as my Prabhu, Hari Bol. BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Goswami Maharaj was staunch brahmachari. Once one girl proposed to speak with him secretly, but he refused to talk with a young girl in a secret place, even though that girl was just like his granddaughter by age calculation. He was a tremendously powerful writer and successful preacher who fearlessly spoke the truth. Thus he was known as Simha, Lion Guru, due to his fearless and ferocious preaching. If an impersonalist saw him on the street, the impersonalist would cross the road in fear or turn off onto the another street. His pure preaching inspired hundreds of thousands of people to follow. But he was the enemy of falsehood and well-wisher of everyone, even of people who were inimical to him. Once, when he and his party were performing Navadvip Parikrama, the caste Brahmins hired gundas, thugs, who let loose with a volley of stones and boulders on the party, aiming to take his life. But one of his disciples cleverly exchanged his white dress for his saffron robes. So he emerged disguised and escaped. It was a terrible scene. Some devotees suffered gases and fractures, but by Krishna's grace, none of them were killed. Krishna always protects his devotees. When his guru Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj left the planet, he had a desire to have his body dragged through the street by his disciples. So the Babajis has gathered to do that. But Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Goswami Maharaj stopped them, saying, none of you are his disciples. I am the right claimant to perform these last rites. They said, quote, but he was a Babaji and you are not. So Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Maharaj responded, quote, if you are Babajis, then you are fully sense controlled. So one of you who has not engaged in any illicit activities in the past 1 year, come and do these last rites. No one stood up. 1 month, 1 week, 24 hours, no one stood up. Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati then placed Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj body in a samadhi. In 1918, he took Tridandi sannyas from a picture of Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. This is unusual. We should not follow. We should not imitate those activities that can destroy our devotion. We can never comprehend the position of those great personalities. So we need to just do what they are telling us to do, not to imitate their activities. He did Nagar Kirtan with disciples and attended program everywhere to establish Lord Chaitanya's teaching as the most excellent spiritual philosophy and to fulfill the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed in Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Khanda 4.1 to 6. Prithvi Ache Yata Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachara Heibe Moranam. He predicted that all over the world, as many towns and villages are there, everywhere my name will be known. Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Thakur took up this affair, this business very seriously. Following the order of his Guru, he established the Bhagavad Press in Krishnanagar in 1915, and he established 64 Gaudiya Math during his lifetime. He volumized the Krishna consciousness movement by initiating people from different caste, gender, and backgrounds. He accepted everything favorable for the executions of preaching Krishna consciousness. He started the Gaudiya mission in the midst of war and national liberation agitation. In this period, the aristocratic young Abhaycharan Dey visited him on the rooftop at Ulta Danga Road, and at this time, Abhaycharan Dey was adherent of the national liberation movement. But Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati convinced him in one sitting of the vital necessity of Lord Chaitanya's mission over everything else. In 1933, he told Srila Prabhupada, quote, "Rather I would prefer to take out the marbles and stone and sell it and publish some books," unquote. Srila Prabhupada carried on the legacy of his spiritual master to distribute books and print them whenever he had money, and also passed on this legacy to his disciple and other members of the movement, so that the sound of the Bruhat Mridanga would reach far and wide. And we see, when we read the Lilamrita Prabhupada, we see how much he was struggling to bring back to Godhead. He took so much, and then he has to write the article, he has to edit, print it, and then he has to distribute himself. How much trouble they go through. When Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Thakur reached the age of 62, his health declined. He got very sick, and he knew that he would soon be going to his master. And therefore he wrote in his last instruction. This is very nice to meditate upon. This is his last instruction to everyone. Somehow, we must become qualified to attain the Psalter of Rupa and Raghunath. Always chant Hare Krishna and always preach Krishna consciousness and stay away from Vaishnava Aparadha. In this way, become qualified to get the Psalter of the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath. Unquote. 2 days after that, he wrote his letter to Srila Prabhupada. Quote, "I think you should try to push our movement in English, and that will do good to you and to the people who will help you." Unquote. So this is something that we should take advantage of, helping this movement go far and further. Whatever way we can help, whatever Krishna has given us our ability, we should utilize. That was his instruction. And then in 1936, on the 31st December, the last day of the year, which is approaching now, we should also make some commitment. That means just after writing this letter, a fortnight before his departure, he left this mortal world to again return to the loving pastime of Shri Radha and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada took that order of the spiritual master very seriously. If we strictly try to show the spiritual master his order without caring for our personal benefit or loss, then Krishna will give us all facilities. That is the secret. News of his departure was broadcasted and an official day of mourning was observed in Bengal. The Corporation of Calcutta held a special meeting in tribute to his memory and issued a resolution expressing its members' deep sorrow. Devotees performed kirtan throughout the entire separation festival. His disciple took the transcendental body, anointed with the fragrant oil and flowers, to Mayapur and established his samadhi, where he used to do his bhajan. He will continue to do his bhajan, for he is still alive. He will be in samadhi and living with his Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He will guide us forever. Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Thakur whole life was spent in a mood of loving devotion to the Lord. He was fully devoted to spreading the teaching of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the determination of the devotees of the Lord. They don't care for personal comforts because they love Krishna. Haribol. Therefore, they love all living entities because all living entities are in relationship with Krishna. May Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Thakur, on this most auspicious day of his disappearance day, inspire all of us in a pure bhakti in our hearts, so that we can practice and distribute this to others. If we don't have the bhakti ourselves, we can never give it to others. And that can be happen if we remain really strong in our sadhana and follow the principles so nicely. And then we will get all the blessings of our Guru Parampara. An impossible thing can become easily possible when we satisfied our spiritual master in Krishna. Srila BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Thakur Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, and meditate the day that we can spend this time wonderfully to absorb in the life of those great acharyas. It's always inspiring when we read the life of the great personalities. Scripture is one thing. Scripture will describe everything. But when we read the real life of a devotee, it goes much deeper. And you learn so many principles by observing how they take the decision at every moment of their life. Completely remain dependent to Krishna's and His will. This is the greatness of the great devotees, that they took all the risk. And why they took the risk? They know it. That if we are sincere and completely dedicated to the mission of Lord Chaitanya, then Krishna will assist us in all respect. That faith we must have in our sadhana and make our life successful by serving constantly the mission of Srila Prabhupada and BhaktiSidhhanth Saraswati Maharaj. It's not that they cannot deliver or can grow this Hare Krishna movement throughout the world. They can do it if they so desire. But they left behind something for us. So we take up that responsibility and spread this movement. So this is a very auspicious day. We should meditate on this life of all the great acharyas are so wonderful. Everybody is in a unique way because everyone is different. There is no two living being are similar. Krishna has created because he is a Rasa Raja. He wants to enjoy the different relationship with everyone. And if he has created similarity, then he has limited this, relationship. So everyone he created in this world is all unique. And in unique way, each soul has connected to Krishna. Our unfortunate thing is we have forgotten the relationship and we are looking the relationship somewhere else. Any relationship that we will find in this material will be temporary and it causes the miseries. But the relationship with Krishna make us free of anxiety and you can live a jubilant life. And this great personality appeared to show us the path that how we should remain intact to the instructions of our spiritual master. Throughout the life, we should never forget the instructions and try to fulfill those desires of your Guru Maharaj. Then life will become so wonderful. They are always there to bless us. That's their magnanimity. They don't see we are qualified or not qualified. They shower their mercy. Like the rain. Rain doesn't care. It's showered the rain in the ocean also where there is no need. But rain is everywhere. Similarly, the mercy of Krishna is everywhere. All the living being has been blessed if we can realize that fact. Every step of our life, if we keep our mind and heart open, we can see the hand of Krishna in our life, definitely. And more we purified our consciousness, then we will be able to recognize more and more. So with those thoughts, we will stop here. It's already 7 o'clock. I went 5 minutes more. Please forgive me. And if Krishna so desire, we will see you all at 2 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time. We have to become steadfast. And I'm so happy that so many devotees are getting so fixed up, which is good. Someone can join at 2 o'clock at least. Now I have seen that before I join even. Now I normally join 5 minutes, 4 minutes before the 2 o'clock. But already 10, 11 devotees are already there. So I offer my humble obeisances to them before I start chanting. Great Vaishnavas. And by 2:15 you can have about 15, 22 devotees. According to the time, place and circumstances, everybody is eager to chant more and more. So inspire your friend, relatives, whoever you come across. Tell them to even join for one round. They can chant one round in association of devotees and then leave. So with those thoughts, we will end our session unless someone has any question, comment, or corrections. I've been still occupied by those land acquisitions.